In the spotlight's glow, I find my soul, singing out the dreams I hold.
You think you've seen it all on AGT? Think again. A young Filipino singer steps on stage, and in the first note the crowd gasps. It's like Elvis Presley himself returned, but with a twist no one expected. Simon Cowell can't believe his ears, and neither will you. The camera sweeps across the enormous AGT theater, capturing the excitement buzzing in every corner. Hundreds of faces fill the audience seats, illuminated by the soft glow of stage lights, all murmuring with anticipation. Some fans clutch their phones, ready to capture every moment. Others lean forward in their seats, feeling a mixture of curiosity and impatience. Tonight is just another episode to some, but for what is about to happen, nobody is prepared. Backstage, the atmosphere is tense yet electric. Contestants are pacing, coaches are whispering last-minute advice, and stagehands are moving props with precision. Amidst this controlled chaos, a young Filipino singer quietly prepares himself. Unlike the flashy performers that usually command attention, he is dressed simply, a plain white shirt, slightly faded jeans, and worn sneakers. Yet there is an aura about him that commands respect, a quiet confidence that speaks louder than glittering costumes ever could. He takes a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment, knowing that in just a few seconds he will step into the limelight of one of the world's biggest stages. The camera cuts back to the audience, capturing the judges' reactions. Simon Cowell leans back in his chair, arms crossed, eyes scanning the backstage monitors. His expression is calm but alert, that familiar skeptical curiosity flickering across his face. How many times has he seen promising performers fall short at the first note? The other judges whisper among themselves, some smiling, some adjusting their microphones, all unaware that tonight they are about to witness something extraordinary. A stagehand gives a subtle nod, and the young Filipino singer begins his walk onto the stage. The theater lights dim, and a single spotlight cuts through the darkness, illuminating him. The audience instantly notices the contrast. No flashy entrance, no dramatic costume, just a boy with a presence that quietly demands attention. The camera captures his slow, deliberate steps. Each one seems to echo in the hushed theater, as if the stage itself recognizes the gravity of the moment. People shift in their seats, murmurs turning into anticipatory silence. He reaches the center of the stage and faces the microphone, his posture straight yet relaxed. The camera cuts to a close-up of his hands, slightly trembling but steady enough to show determination. He closes his eyes for a brief moment, centering himself, inhaling deeply. This is more than a performance. It is a declaration, a chance to channel something beyond himself. The air is thick with tension, every heartbeat of the audience synchronized in anticipation. From the side of the stage, the host whispers a few words, prompting the boy to nod slightly. The camera pans over the audience once more. Some fans lean forward, eyebrows raised, sensing that the first note is about to shatter expectations. Others exchange curious glances, some skeptical, some hopeful. The judges remain statuesque, but the tension is palpable, their attention entirely fixed on the small figure in the spotlight. Simon Cowell's eyes narrow slightly, a hint of intrigue breaking through his usual critical composure. Then, almost imperceptibly, the boy opens his mouth to sing. The first note doesn't just fill the theater, it commands it. There's a richness, a depth, a warmth in the tone that makes every listener freeze in place. The audience is stunned into silence. Even the usual rustle of cameras and whispers vanishes. It is as if the room collectively holds its breath, suspended in the magic of a sound that seems impossible to come from someone so young, so unassuming. The camera cuts between the audience and judges. One judge raises an eyebrow, jaw dropping slightly. Another whispers under their breath, incredulous. Simon Cowell leans forward now, elbows on the table, eyes wide with disbelief. He tilts his head, trying to understand what he is hearing. There is a moment, a heartbeat, where even the world's most experienced talent scouts cannot reconcile the reality before them. This is not just a great voice. This is something legendary, something that transcends expectations and defies logic. The boy closes his eyes fully, letting the music guide him. His body sways subtly, absorbed entirely in the performance. The camera captures a close-up of his face, the intensity of his focus, the raw emotion that flows through every note. It is evident that this is not mere mimicry. He is channeling something deeper, something timeless. Every fiber of the theater seems to vibrate with the resonance of his voice, and the audience can feel it, not just hear it. As the last note of this opening moment lingers in the air, there is a brief, almost sacred pause. The audience does not immediately clap. They are too stunned to react. The judges remain frozen, eyes locked on the performer, trying to process the gravity of what just unfolded. Simon Cowell, usually quick to critique, sits silently, an expression of awe etched across his face. The camera lingers on him for a moment, capturing his disbelief before slowly panning back to the boy who stands poised and composed, ready to continue. In this moment, scene one concludes with a perfect blend of anticipation, awe, and emotion. The stage has been set, not with spectacle or gimmickry, but with the quiet power of an ordinary-looking boy carrying an extraordinary gift, a voice capable of stopping the world for a few unforgettable minutes. The first note hangs in the air, pure and commanding, and instantly, the audience falls into a stunned silence. It's the kind of silence that makes every heartbeat loud, every breath noticeable. The richness of his voice seems almost otherworldly, carrying the unmistakable essence of Elvis Presley, but layered with a warm, uniquely Filipino timbre that gives it a fresh, soul-stirring depth. Every vowel, every subtle vibrato is delivered with precision, and yet there is a rawness to it that makes the performance feel alive, spontaneous, and utterly human. The camera pans across the audience, capturing expressions of awe and disbelief. Some fans have their hands covering their mouths, unable to believe what they're hearing. Others sit frozen, wide-eyed, like deer caught in headlights of sheer amazement. A few fans discreetly reach for their phones, but they can't bring themselves to move, captivated by the spell the singer has cast. Each note seems to echo in the theater, reverberating through every seat, every corner, every soul present. The judges' reactions are instantaneous and electric. One judge leans forward, jaw slack, whispering under their breath in sheer astonishment. Another grips the armrest, eyes glued to the stage, shaking their head as if trying to comprehend the impossible. Simon Cowell, the king of skepticism, sits motionless, a rare vulnerability in his eyes. His brow furrows, his mouth slightly open, and he leans forward, elbows on the table, as if trying to physically contain his disbelief. For a moment, his usually unflappable persona is gone, replaced by something almost childlike, awe. The young singer doesn't miss a beat. His eyes are closed, his posture straight yet relaxed, and he lets the music flow through him. The camera captures a close-up of his face, the intensity of concentration, the subtle twitch of emotion in his eyebrows, the slight tremor of anticipation in his lips. Every muscle in his body communicates dedication, respect, and a profound love for the song he's performing. He isn't just singing, he's telling a story, resurrecting a legend while making it entirely his own. As he moves into higher registers, the audience gasps audibly. The power of his voice seems to expand, filling every corner of the theater with clarity and resonance that feels impossible for someone so young. Even from the back rows, spectators can feel the vibrations as if the sound is alive, touching them in ways words cannot describe. The performance carries a hypnotic rhythm, alternating between delicate intimacy and explosive intensity, keeping everyone, audience and judges alike, completely enthralled. The camera shifts to Simon Cowell, capturing a reaction that will be remembered for years. His eyes widen, and for a brief moment, he looks almost paralyzed, his typical critical edge replaced with raw admiration. He shakes his head slowly, trying to reconcile what he's hearing with everything he knows about talent and musical mastery. It's a rare moment when Simon isn't calculating, isn't judging, isn't analyzing. He's simply listening, experiencing, and feeling. The audience begins to respond. Some standing, some clapping softly at first, unsure how to express the overwhelming emotion. Tears glisten in the eyes of several spectators, both young and old, moved not just by the technical perfection of the performance, but by the soul it carries. The young Filipino singer, still fully immersed in the song, senses the energy from the crowd and channels it back, creating a feedback loop of emotion that makes the moment even more electrifying. As the song reaches its climactic high note, the camera captures every angle, the singer's determined yet serene expression, the audience on the edge of their seats, and the judges leaning in, eyes wide, mouths open in disbelief. The note lingers, stretching across the theater like a living thread, connecting everyone in the room through its sheer beauty and power. And then, just as suddenly as it began, the note fades, leaving an almost tangible silence that hangs for a heartbeat. For a brief moment, nobody moves. The audience is frozen, the judges are frozen, and the energy in the theater feels suspended in time. Then the eruption begins. Cheers, applause, and shouts of astonishment fill the space. People are on their feet, some crying, some clapping wildly, some jumping in sheer disbelief. Simon Cowell leans back, exhaling slowly, his expression a mix of shock, respect, and awe. One judge even turns to the other, whispering, "I've never heard anything like this in my life." The young singer opens his eyes, taking in the reaction, a small, humble smile spreading across his face. He's aware of the power he just unleashed, but he remains grounded, respectful, and focused. The camera captures the moment perfectly. An ordinary-looking Filipino boy, standing center stage, has just performed something so extraordinary it will be remembered for years. Scene 2 concludes with the audience fully captivated, the judges stunned into silence, and the young singer ready to continue his journey. One note at a time, leaving everyone questioning if they just witnessed the return of a legend. The final note fades, leaving a charged silence that hangs over the theater like a held breath. For a heartbeat, it seems as if time itself has paused. The audience is frozen, unable to process what just happened. Every person in the room, from the front row to the back, is staring, wide-eyed, their mouths slightly open in disbelief. Some fans clutch their phones, realizing that even the highest-definition screen could never capture the electricity that just filled the air. Others simply sit, tears streaming down their faces, overwhelmed by the sheer power and emotion of what they've witnessed. The judges, still processing the performance, exchange glances that speak volumes. Simon Cowell, usually the epitome of cool detachment, sits back with an almost childlike awe etched across his face. His eyes are wide, his jaw tight, and he seems momentarily at a loss for words, a rarity that electrifies the room. One judge leans forward, whispering softly, "I've never heard anything like this in my life." Another wipes a tear from their cheek, shaking their head in stunned admiration. The energy in the room is palpable, a mix of shock, awe, and profound respect. The host steps forward, microphone in hand, trying to contain the excitement that courses through the theater. "Ladies and gentlemen," they announce, "what you just witnessed was nothing short of extraordinary." The camera cuts to the young Filipino singer, standing at the center of the stage, sweat glistening on his brow, his chest rising and falling from the emotional and physical intensity of his performance. He bows slightly, humility radiating from his posture, and the audience erupts into a thunderous standing ovation. Clapping, cheering, whistling, every sound blends into a wave of pure emotion that seems to lift him higher. Backstage, footage shows family members, friends, and mentors jumping and hugging each other, overwhelmed with pride. Fans in the crowd scream his name, some tears of joy mingling with sheer disbelief. The energy in the room is contagious, spreading from the stage to every corner of the theater. Cameras capture every reaction, the shock of strangers, the admiration of lifelong fans, and the rare moment of vulnerability from Simon Cowell himself. Simon finally speaks, his voice measured but brimming with emotion. "I've seen thousands of performances in my life, and I have never, ever heard anything like that," he says, shaking his head. "You didn't just sing, you brought a legend back to life. That was extraordinary." His words echo through the theater, almost reverberating off the walls, and the audience responds with louder cheers. The other judges join in, praising the singer for his vocal range, emotional depth, and stage presence. One judge even declares, "I think America just found a star that could change music forever." The camera shifts to close-ups of the young singer's face as he takes in the moment. His eyes are wide, a mixture of pride, disbelief, and gratitude. He opens his mouth to speak, but the applause is so overwhelming that he pauses, simply letting the moment wash over him. Then, in a soft, humble voice, he thanks the audience, the judges, and everyone who believed in him. The simplicity of his words contrasts sharply with the grand spectacle around him, emphasizing his genuine humility and deep respect for the stage and the music he loves. As confetti falls from above, the camera captures the singer lifting his arms slightly, acknowledging the roaring crowd. The judges stand, clapping with genuine admiration. some wiping tears from their eyes. Simon Cowell leans back in his chair, his usual stern expression replaced with a smile of pure amazement. The theater feels alive, as though every soul in the room has been touched by something larger than life, something almost magical. Outside the theater, clips show fans posting reactions online, hashtags trending instantly as millions of viewers share their astonishment. Social media explodes with comments like "Elvis lives," and "I've never heard anything like this." The young Filipino singer's performance has not just captivated the live audience, it has ignited a worldwide reaction, proving that talent knows no boundaries and that true artistry transcends borders. Scene 3 concludes with the singer standing center stage, basking in the applause, tears glistening in his eyes, and the judges' reactions immortalized in stunning close-ups. Simon Cowell's face, a mix of shock, respect, and awe, lingers in the camera's frame, cementing this as one of AGT's most unforgettable moments. The stage lights slowly dim, but the energy remains, leaving viewers with a lingering sense of wonder and the unmistakable feeling that they have witnessed history in the making.